Is this thing on? Hmm. It looks like we're on. Let's see something here. Hey, hey. Looks like it. Cool. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm going to figure out a way to broadcast this out to, I think, Blue Sky and Telegram and all those fancy places. So what are we going to do? Today, all right, so today's Sunday. The other day, I was challenged by Mr. Fox, Stephen Fox, to write a Miro clone. For those that don't know, Miro is a whiteboarding app, a collaborative whiteboarding app. And build a Miro clone with a couple little rules. But we're going to be using Bolt to build it. So no code. We're not going to write any code, and we're going to build this app. So let me check out my channel. Let me grab this link. And hey, it's me watching me to build it. So no let me code. Mute that and copy this. And go to Telegram. No one saw that. And let's see. Hey, I'm live streaming building a Miro clone with 0 code. Wanna hang? Probably get some people in here. I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? By the way, I'm not really paying too much attention to, and I'll probably say this again, I'm not paying too much attention to like much going on. So if you, I am looking at chat. So if you are, like, I'm not looking at statistics of this stream. So if you are here, then drop a message in the comments in the chat and I will respond. And with that being said, without further ado, let's build this app. This is kind of fun. So I found Bolt the other day. Hello, Agunaki. Hello. Welcome. Someone told me about this. Alfred Newtile, who was my boss at Pfizer. We were talking about a project I'm looking at scoping out, and he showed me this, and it caught my attention really quick. And on Friday, we discussed it a bit on the podcast, The Bucket, which I'll put a link here someplace or whatever. Or you can just go to like Transistor FM, The Bucket. No. The Bucket, whatever it is. The Bucket Pod. This is a way to get there. And I'm not going to do all that in front of you guys. Sorry. It's not even you guys. It's like me and maybe this Agunaki. Anyway, we found this thing and yeah, I thought it was really cool. So we're going to just build this Miro clone. Steven was like, build a Miro clone with a couple rules. So let's do it. Build me a Miro clone. Make sure it's responsive. Let's give it some parameters. Make sure it's responsive. Uses pusher.io. Hopefully we can do that. In a single public room. Ryan Bileski, hello. How are you, sir? I hope I pronounced your name right. Wouldn't be funny if if you're like, no, it's Rian, not Ryan. You got the last name right, right? Uh, Build me a Miro clone. Make sure it's responsive. Uses pusher IO in a single public room to start, and I'll explain that. Well, I may as well explain it now why I'm doing this. I already started building this in another instance of Bolt, and I ran into this issue. Basically, I'm trying to get away with not having to spin up another server just for the socket stuff, the WebSockets. And thanks, Brian. So we're just going to start with this for now. I want to use Tailwind CSS for the styling. Give us dark mode toggle ability. Those are like my niceties that I always ask for. And when other users are collaborating, and I will be posting a link for this if you're watching and following along. Once it's like live, I'm gonna test this out. It's gonna be fun. When other users are collaborating, display their username next to their cursor. So let's see what Bolt does. Bolt is so cool. I've already written like 3 apps. I'm working on making one like a paid app, which would be really cool because it actually has some benefits. I can just demo that too. Never played with Reverb yet, but I believe it can run on the same server as the app. The thing about this, Ryan, is that this is not running on a server. Well, it is somewhere, right? But it's just front-end code. It's using Node, right? I'm trying to do this with this is not a Laravel demo at all. This is a cool as HE double hockey sticks new AI thing that I stumbled upon the other day. But I did think about reaching for Reverb for the WebSocket stuff. So, all right, so it looks like this is its first iteration, and it looks like there's a problem. We can look at the problems or just say fix the problems and see if it fixes the problems. It might be asking for my pusher stuff. So I'm going to get my pusher stuff. Pusher. I was just in here the other day. I don't mind showing the keys for the stuff that I'm building with because I'm just going to delete them. All right, so it's fixing these problems. I haven't played with Reverb yet either. And so it's like, you know, life is life, right? Like I haven't even been on a live stream in over a year. So I just kind of like just hit me maybe an hour, half hour ago, like let's go do a live stream. So here I am. All right, so this looks like it might be working. So it looks, I've got a cursor. This is all kind of like in its own local, which is still on a server, its own local environment, dark mode. That's cool. All right, so we can draw stuff. Light mode, it stays dark, stays light. So that's wrong. We can delete things, delete everything. All right, but this is a great start. I'm always nice to AI. I try to be at least. And I was just saying something. This is how my mind works. I have not been streaming. I haven't been doing anything really with my channel, but I wanted to jump on here and kind of get back into the flow of things. I would like to offer a button toolbar to users to select, change colors, add text, shapes, lines, etc. So if you haven't seen Bolt yet, you're probably pissing your pants because it's just so cool. I could like just see like I'm building this app, but I'm like doing it from like a manager's perspective, right? This is like I'm a project manager telling my team of developers to do stuff, and there they go, and it takes seconds. It's crazy. I didn't realize you weren't using Laravel. That makes sense then, but it's good to be nice to AI for when it takes over the world. That's true. It'll remember. It'll look back and be like, that's funny. Shane, you were one of the few. You were one of the few. I played with this other app, and I'll show the app. It's kind of broken right now. It's in a different instance of Bolt, but I built this Kronos app, and I can show it a little bit. Yeah, let's take just a second for this. So my thought was like I want a to-do list, but I want like a little stopwatch on each to-do item that I click, and it will start tracking how much time I'm spending on the item. I click it again, it stops it, and then I can like download my time log essentially. So this is like I was actually using this for work the other day. A new thing. All right, so you select a project, and this is like after maybe an hour, 2 hours of like iterating over and over and over. I got kind of to this. Again, it's not exactly working, but it's working enough for what I wanted to do. So I've got this new thing, and so I can start the timer on that, and it just starts keeping track of stuff, and I can say stop the timer. I can go back and like I can add some custom time to it, and for whatever reason it takes it a second, but if I refresh it will add that. I can tell it to make sure that if I add time to it, it will display that new time in real time. You can also view all the times that were logged. So here's those times that were logged. I can add more time there. I didn't write a stitch of code for this, and it just works, and it's like so cool. Then I can say view time log. So here's like all of my times. It doesn't look like it's this. Oh, there's nothing for big tech, this other project thing. So that's probably why. And I haven't looked at this recently, but I did tell it to give me the function, the ability to export everything to a PDF. And there's a couple little things like this. And I do like, I had it before, it was displaying this in a table. But dude, like for no code, how can you complain or be upset about this, right? So let me delete this one and get that out of there. And I wonder if that subtracted. Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, the time for that. So, okay, cool. Coming back to this. Looks like we're off to a good start. So we can draw lines. Oh, there's a problem. So sometimes when you do stuff like this, it will trigger a console error, and it detects that. So that's why the count of this went up when I drew lines. So instead of like going through and playing with more stuff, let's let it detect those errors and just fix them for us. I have always been the grunt work kind of guy. Like I will sit there and work hours and hours and hours a day. Just tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it. And it's weird being in this role telling something else to do. Like I feel like I'm in that manager sort of position. It's a strange feeling. All right, it should now be resolved. So let's see. Sometimes it doesn't get it right. All right, no errors, cool. This looks like a line. Yep. Here's a square and a circle. And we can write, oh, that's cool. It uses a little dialogue. This is cool text. Hey, I like that. Oh, and it gives me, is that part of, I can't tell if that must be just because it's hovering over this. All right, so that's an issue, right? And that's pretty cool. I kind of like the dark mode better. It kept the same color, which is good. All right, so this is a great example of what this is able to do. I can't see all the colors very well. So when I hover over the color picker, each item displayed is being overlapped by another item. I don't know if that's a good way to say that. basically I cannot see all of the options easily. All right. Let's see what happens. All right, is this better? Hey, that looks better. So we choose red, we can choose green, etc. Cool. And let's see if that works. All right, it's kind of interesting that it draws it as black and then it repaints it. I don't hate that, but let's, I don't know what the hand icon is for. While I am dragging, you know what, we shouldn't, I'll do this one, but I want to get to the real-time stuff. So let's get it. I want to set this up with pusher. While I'm dragging the cursor, the line color is black initially and then changes to the color I selected. I would like it to display my selected color initially as well. Please, Mr. AI. The one thing I really kind of don't like about this is that it's using React. I can tell it to use Vue instead. I've done that and it works just fine, but it seems like when it's writing Vue code, it hits errors more frequently than if you're using React, or than when it is using React. So again, I don't do React intentionally. I don't want to use React. I don't like React. You can call me what you want. But that's okay because I'm not actually coding anything, right? So, all right, let's see what happens. All right, there's an error. Fix the error. So no, this isn't. This is free for a while, but then I moved up to. I ran out of credits, tokens, whatever it is, after a minute. But I'm on like a $20 a month plan just so I could play a little bit more heavily. Ryan Boleski asks, does it only do JavaScript or can you ask it to write Laravel code too? Great question. The answer is no. You cannot ask it to write Laravel code also. The reason why is because it's just not set up for that. I guess it's a short and sweet answer. But that would require a backend server that is a little bit beefier than, hey, looks like that worked. That's a little bit beefier than just like a node server, right? You have to manage PHP, and there's a number of things that go into that. Now, that does not mean that it can't be done, and that would be an incredible tool. In the meantime, I can just like download this code. It gives me a zip file of all the code. I can unzip it into a Laravel directory. I probably could even ask it to like stub out a Laravel app and put this in the right folders or something. But no, it does not currently do anything with Laravel, unfortunately. I've had ideas. I mean, that was obviously my first idea or thought too, was like, let's build me a Laravel app. Let's do that because that would be amazing. But no, sadly, no, not yet. All right, so I'm going to deploy this so we can check to see the real-time ability. I also, actually, I should stop that because it's asking for... Yeah. All right. So it's going to give me some instruction here. So we need to, usually it has like there's an env someplace, some sort of env. Where does it go? All right. So source hooks use pusher.ts. Use pusher.ts. Source hooks use pusher. And I would like to extract those. Let's extract those vars to an env file, please. And it looks like you're missing a couple items for pusher. Here is what I have, and then I will paste in all this stuff. Boop, boop. And it should just give me the env file and put all those keys in. Yep. Sweet. Sweet. Okay. Updated use pusher, added a type definitions for Vite env, added error handling if pusher configuration is missing, added proper cleanup in the use effect code. The pusher integration should now work correctly with your credentials. The environment variables are prefixed with Vite _. And yeah, it looks like they're all there. So let's deploy this now. And let's see if I can get this working in 2 browsers. I'll post the link as a chat, and then we can go into the next little part of what we want to do here. All right, so here it is. And let me open this up. We'll do a little side-by-side thing. Actually, let's go. Will it do this? I don't know if it will. Let's just do it this way. Okay. Nope. All right, so let's take a look at the debug console here. And let's see. I actually would like, let's do this. That's the other app that I was working on back there. All right, so, all right, only supported on private and presence channels. That's what I want to avoid. Client event rejected. Okay, client events. That's gonna make things a little tricky. If we start using private channels, then we have to have some other server, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I didn't think this was a limitation before, a pusher. Do you guys have any experience with this? Basically, it's like I thought you could just do pusher between 2 client running apps, right? Use a private channel, added authentication private dash, right? So let's redeploy this. The URL will stay the same. But what we'll do is we'll refresh this while looking at the debug console and see. Okay. Connected. All right, so no, not connected. Cannot broadcast client event. All right. This is the error I ran into before. Listen to me not talking and being a good host. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm thinking through different scenarios of like what I know to do, what I want to do, etc. And this is pretty cool though, right? The thing that kind of like slowed me down before is like to test out the real time stuff. You have to deploy each time because this is kind of like living. It's got a URL, but I don't know how. It's another variable that I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. It adds to the complexity. Okay, that looks like it connected, but it's not firing anything when I draw. It's connected. All right. There are no events firing in the pusher debug console when I draw. I could say something like fix that and redeploy. And now I can just paste that in. You know, it'd be nice if it would display like a little box on here, like a debug, like a developer box, like some information that it's connected and it's firing events and all that stuff, like on screen for now. I would like to add a little debug developer tool to this. Please create a little box on the bottom right of the screen to display pusher connection information and logs when an event is firing and all relevant information to help me debug this. So cool. Oh, and then deploy. I forgot to paste that in. Oh well. We'll get it next time. Maybe. I am limiting myself today for it's 4:15 now until about 4:30 or so p.m. Eastern. Got some other things I got to work on. So this is pretty cool either way, and I will get this working. And so maybe the next time I'm tackling this, I'll come back on the live stream and finish it. Cool. All right, so redeploy that sucker. Let's see what we got. This is kind of cool. Whoa. That is so cool that it just does this. Picks a nice little icon, makes it toggleable and all that. It's so cool. I wonder what it's running into. Yeah, so this is the issue. There I go, being a bad host again, not chatting with everyone. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what it's doing, it looks like it's using Express server to handle pusher authentication. So it created this pusher auth endpoint to authenticate the presence channel connections, and then it updated everything, and then it added a proxy configuration to Vite to forward the auth request to the Express server, and then add a require server dependencies to the package JSON. The application now properly authenticate with pusher and allow real-time collaboration. The debug overlay will show the connection status and any authentication related events. So it's I've got this. So let's see. It should actually like spin things up on 2 ports. Let's update the server to serve the static files from the Vite build. Okay. 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 Deploy. Looks like it's, you can't really test to see if it's working or not until it's actually deployed out. What I'm expecting to see is some connection stuff here, but also inside of the pusher debug. Like when we draw, it should fire off events. Then I'll try it on 2 different browsers or browser instances. Okay, let's refresh. Enable to retrieve the auth string. All right, so it's probably the same error. Yeah, I think it's going to keep giving me this auth error. So what I think I should or could do is get this out into a Laravel app, which I'm not sure. Steven will probably attempt to give me some shenanigans about it wasn't all built with Bolt. Okay. Still getting this error. Oh, it looks like it's trying to build this netlify function, which is interesting. I don't know a lot about that. I would assume it's something similar to, it's just like running, a server function, right? So this might be. Looks like my phone's dying. Mateus! Hey, Mateus. So it didn't get an app sort of working. This is just where I'm at right now with this. And this is like a different kind of app too. It's trying to do some pusher stuff or WebSocket stuff. Like just a standalone app, no sweat. In fact, check this out. You want to see something cool? I wrote this in like an hour the other day. Basically, it's a I wanted it to do to-do list, right? That I could just associate like a stopwatch with each item. So you just click a button and it starts recording your time. You go do the thing, you come back, you stop it. It'll tell you, from what time to what time were you doing this thing. And so I was actually using this week to work, and it's definitely been really helpful. Quick demo is like, well, first let's select a project and let's say create a Miro clone on YouTube and add it, and then we can just start the timer for that. And we can edit this, we can stop the timer, we can add time manually, we can edit time, we can change which project it's associated with, we can mark it as complete and it will show up in this area. And then my favorite part of this whole thing is like I can just view the time log and I can see by project the times and the durations for every item and what time I spent on each item and all that, and export it to a PDF. And Mateus, I wrote zero code. I didn't write a word of code in any of this. Nothing. I just kept telling it to do this stuff. Yeah, it is absolutely insane that this can all be done. I'm getting questions about Laravel. Of course, that's going through everyone's mind. Then the next part is like, how do we gatekeep clients from knowing about a Laravel clone of this, right? So that they can, we can keep getting paid as developers. But the thing is, there's always, I need to, and I think Simon brought this point up on the podcast the other day. It's that us as developers, maybe we don't need to be doing the grunt work stuff. Maybe we don't need, but we need to know how things work enough to be able to fix things. Like there's so many things that I went through to get this to the point where it is that would have taken a lot longer for somebody that's not a developer, for example. So, that's a whole other discussion, I think. So let's deploy this thing, even though there's a problem with it. Let's deploy this. And also, yeah, and I'll show this a little bit, but I want to read your comment to the interwebs. Basically, it's just you and me right now. However, people will watch this back in the future, I'm sure. I wonder if in the future we'll just generate these small apps instead of subscribing/using something. And then Ryan follows that up. Time to rebrand ourselves in as development project managers. It's true. In the future, will we just generate these small apps instead of subscribing or using something? That's I'm assuming you're meaning like getting really deep into a specific framework, or what do you mean by that, Mateus? Yeah, it's still got this. However, let's see if we've got that error here. There's a connection. Yeah, it's still giving me this 404 thing. So, again, this isn't working, and I've got to get going in a couple minutes. This isn't working with real time, right? The WebSocket stuff, not working right now. I'm gonna come back sometime later this week and finish the app up, and we'll get that part of it working. I'll leave it just as it is for now. Well, I probably look for another solution. Meaning just a way to, I'm still going to use Bolt to do this, but we'll get this thing working. No, I mean small stuff like a time tracker. No need to subscribe to a service. Right. Yes. No need to subscribe to a service or use an existing one if you can just generate your personal one in a few minutes. Honestly, I was looking at different, I even installed, where is it? There's some JetBrains tool for time tracking. I installed it. I was testing it out. It's free for up to 10 people anyway, but it was like a little more elaborate, and it didn't even do the time tracking part itself. You'd have to go back and manually do it. And I was like, there's got to be something. I'm like, you know what? Let me just use Bolt and see if it could just do something quickly. And it did. And it satisfies exactly what I'm looking for. It's exactly what I need, exactly what I'm looking for. I can show clients the timestamps, the duration, everything that I've done when I've worked on things, and just keep track of my day. Now, and that's the next thing I think I was going to add into it. It was like some sort of way to alert me if I want to like schedule, like say I've got a day planned out of meetings, downtime, head downtime, and like going for a walk and prioritizing my health, which I did not do at all this last week, and I'm paying for it now. Like upload a schedule or have it create a schedule for me, and then send me some sort of notifications when it's time to transition from one thing to another. So if I'm here working and I'm right in the middle of some code, it can say, hey, you got to go for a walk, or hey, it's time for lunch. This is your half hour you scheduled, or whatever it is, right? Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd predict most small utility apps will become heavily personalized. The future is going to be weird. So somebody to that point, just a concept out there that I heard when AI first started getting more popular a couple years ago. Why have a library of movies, right? So what if AI knew you as a person enough, and you could just tell it what kind of mood you're in or what your interests are, and it just generates a movie for you in real time? Think about Netflix Live or whatever you would call that, right? How insane would that be? What's to say that can't be done? Like, just because you don't think it could be today, and it probably couldn't be today, in a couple of years, 5 years. I mean, it doesn't take, and now you're talking about a whole industry. Now that'd be like, of course you want to go back and watch like, the best movie ever made, The Princess Bride or Saving Private Ryan or something like that. Right. But why not have this? If I want to see a sad movie, show me a sad movie. If I want to see one that's going to inspire me to go create something, show me one that's inspiring. Use the likeness of Tom Hanks or use the likeness of whoever. Why not? I just saw a video on TikTok the other day of like, you upload 2 photos, one of like your deceased grandmother and your newborn baby at 2 years old, and it will show them hugging. They never met. And it's a video to show them embracing each other. Like, those are genuine human emotions that we can tap into using the power of AI. And I know people have all these different whatever about like, whether or not it should be around or should be accessible or should be, to what extent should this thing go, right? I don't know if that matters what we think about it. It matters. People are pushing the envelope with it every day. So I don't know. I don't know if there's a really good answer there that we all would like, but I know that spending time with it, understanding how it works, and using it in your actual life is going to make you more productive. And this is living proof. I mean, this thing, it's awesome. It's on chronos.hostedsitefiles.com. There is a link for it. It's not fully like working or whatever right now. It will be, but and I'm going to keep updating that as I get ideas or whatever. It's free to use. Totally free. You just go there and play around with it. And it works. And I would like to, my idea, I think, is to wire it up to, like, I'll probably build a Laravel backend to handle like an API that just sits in a server so that you can actually log in. And because like if you refresh it, still, I think it's storing stuff in local storage right now. Everything's here when I do a hard refresh and everything. It's all saying there. So I'm pretty sure it's in local storage. But I would like it to be actual data in a database someplace. And I can tell it to, I have a database. Actually, I can just work directly with a database instead of using an API. There's so many things you can do with it. And then, and I even had it at one point, I was telling it to, I want to charge $1 a year, $10 a year or something for people to use this thing. And it's free for the first 2 weeks, just take it for a joyride, see if you like it. If you like it, it's $10, for a year. Why not? I mean, I would pay $10 a year to do this. I think. Would I? No, I would probably I would just write myself a little app that does it. But it's already done for you. So maybe there are some, a little market out there for this. I don't know. I paid $20 for the first month of Bolt, and I've got, 30% of my credits left. I probably will upgrade because I actually have client work coming up that I'm going to, and I've already ran this by the client. They love the idea, to use this for that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up for now. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to do a little research outside of this on a couple things. I've got some other work I've got to get to. Happy Sunday. Happy football day. Go spend some time with your loved ones. Enjoy the last few hours before Monday. Dum, dum, dum. It's not as ominous as I'm making it seem. Mondays are fun. On that note, gotta bounce too. Have a good one, buddy. Thanks, Mateus. All right, guys.